I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. And we've all heard the phrase, you are who you hang out with, or show me a man's friends, and I'll tell you who that man is. And these are great sayings because they always ring true. And as a man who has been on the planet a long time, I have edited the life suckers out of my life. I don't hang out with criminals, psychos, or family law attorneys, but our president does. Hell, you can add porn stars, pedophiles, and mobsters, dictators, demagogues, and dumbasses, fools, fakers, and fuckwits. And what I just described, we call Trump's base. I'm always shocked when people continue to back this dude up because we know he screwed porn stars and a Playboy model. I know I'm kind of splitting hairs there. Well, I'm splitting pubic hairs there. Well, I'm splitting shaved pubic hairs there. And he did those girls while his wife was raising his newborn kid. We know he loves Kim Jong-un, who basically executes his people every Thursday. In North Korea, they call it throw a knife in the back Thursday. The great news about Trump is that he never throws anyone under the bus. He always keeps it classy.
Well, we have some of the dumbest leaders in the world. We have losers. We have losers.
They're losers. They're just losers.
We have very stupid people. We have stupid leadership. How stupid are our leaders?
His buddy and head of his campaign is in jail. His right-hand man, Michael Cohen, who has known him for decades, said this. That's one of Trump's best friends, talking about his buddy, the president. Trump is a man who expects friendship and loyalty, but has the same personal loyalty that a lion has towards a gazelle. Now we have Trump's buddy, ex-New York mayor, and runner-up at the Count Dracula Invitational, Rudy Giuliani, his lawyer buddy. And the dudes that Giuliani represents are a couple of actual criminals that actually have a company called Fraud Guarantee. Truth in advertising is so rare these days. I actually got inspired by that. My company is now called Angry White Guy Irritatingly Rants, because I'm trying to keep it real. These two guys, Lev and Igor, were trying to oust the head people at the Ukrainian natural gas company along with the help of Rick Perry. And Trump said, I don't know them. But he happens to have more pictures with Lev and Igor than I have with my goddamn kids. So here's what we know. Trump hangs out with people that have a lot of electronic ankle bracelets. You don't see a lot of pictures of Trump with sick kids. You don't see pictures of Trump feeding soup to the homeless. You don't see pictures of Trump with black people. So you have to take into account who the president hangs out with to find out who he is, who his friends are, what he does, can he speak English, who praises him, and who knows him well. And what do they say about him? That's how you figure out what kind of human beings people are. You look around them and see who they hang out with, who they admire, and whose balls they tickle. I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. Coming up next, Bombshell Ray and Ryan Farmer. Everybody, Christopher Titus Podcast. How the hell are you doing? Today with me, as always, the lovely Bombshell Ray.
What's up, people?
And a blast from the past, not so long ago past. Basically, one of the people that built this place. He built this city. Ryan Fetus Farmer, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, it's me.
Oh, you remember.
Wow, but it was very manly.
Yeah, it was.
It used to be, hey. Now it's, hey.
Well, I used to have to shout from the corner of the room to be heard, so you really had to.
It's a good point.
You got to raise the octaves a little bit to carry, you know?
The octaves.
Octaves? Did he just say octaves?
Octave Spencer, by the way, is also an
It's probably octave, isn't it? I don't,
It probably is.
I don't know anything about music at all.
It's an octave.
Have you only ever read the word?
Oh, I've simply never had to say it before.
I thought macabre was macabre for a long time because
that's
no one
awesome.
says it. I
That's
just
true.
read it.
Oh, I'm sorry. How about Gavinky?
I used to call Hermione Hermione, and that was a real.
And that's your world.
Yeah, that's my world.
Yeah.
So
That's
that's
a very bad girl.
it sure is.
Please tell me that you went to a nerdy, what do you call them?
It's a convention,
LARPing
a con,
or a
something.
con, that's
Yeah, there
it.
it
Or
is.
LARPing, same thing. It's the same thing.
Right.
And you called her Hermione.
No, I mean,
Please.
it was in grade school. Like, it was in third grade when I couldn't read that I called her Hermione. So
Oh.
I also called Hagrid
While you were a
Hagrid.
grown man here with us, you said Gavinky.
I did say Kavinky. Those were my words, right?
You said Labutin.
Yeah, I made him pronounce a few of
Gavinky and
them.
Labutin.
Yeah, there you go.
And you got a little bit of red. Good.
Victor
I'm glad you're
Vekselberg.
back.
You know what? I'm really
Victor
glad.
Vekselberg, he's not been on the podcast in a while. But there is trouble with the Trump people.
You know what? I'm really glad that we have a video podcast now, because now when you guys inevitably turn me red at some point, everyone will be able to see.
You are just a shade of purple,
Well,
actually.
I'm also by the red light, so
no,
dangerous.
No.
Victor
And this is my
Vekselberg.
natural complexion.
Yeah, that's your natural
By the way, Trump also
rosacea.
hangs out with Victor Vekselberg, who's got very much money. And the Victor Vekselberg, there's many
The
things
Victor
missing.
Vekselberg.
The Victor Vekselberg. It's weird, man. Here's what I don't get. When it comes to this Trump thing, he hangs out his whole life with douchebags. Like, it's just douchebag after douchebag. Douchebags attract each other. If anything, he is like the solar system of douchebags. Like,
Yes.
he'd be the sun, and douchebags orbit him because he's got the most money.
Yes.
But the guys with bigger money, he orbits them. But the douchebags, you got these Lev and Igor, these two mobster guys that are hanging out with him.
And I couldn't write more stereotypical names for those two guys, right?
Lev, Igor, and the way they look.
Yeah, exactly.
They literally look like they were like Frankenstein's lab put together. He had extra parts.
Like whoever's writing
Like,
America.
He built a Frankenstein. That was pretty good. And then extra shit. He goes, hey, I got enough parts to put two other guys together. Let's put these guys
Every
together.
time they come on, we laugh because it's like casting, perfect casting.
Yes.
Yeah.
And someone we were watching, I want to say it was John Oliver, said, and Lev Parnas, the pretty one.
And they both,
Right?
they're lumpy. They're lumpy humans.
Oh, yeah.
But I guess Lev or Igor, either one of them.
They're the
Same.
same.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, same guy.
Jinx.
Got it.
Look at us.
One guy who lived next to him, like he was giving him crap in a parking lot, and they got in a fight, and he says,
held a gun to
"You're
his
gonna
head?"
Disappear.
Yeah.
Then he came back with a gun and said, "I'm not kidding." That's awesome.
He seems nice.
He does.
Doesn't he?
Can we get him on the podcast? Can we invite him on as the next guest?
By the way, Lev or Igor, if you want to come on the podcast and talk about why you're innocent, come to the Titus Podcast.
No.
We would love to hear.
No.
Yeah, we will.
we can get Rosencrantz and Guildenstern on. It'll be great.
Wow, weird reference. Nice job. So here's what I don't get. So the reason I talked about Trump's friends is because I don't get that all these idiots who continue to follow him. Because, by the way, at this point, after all the convictions and all the indictments and all the reports,
Fake news.
and everything he's done, if you still think it's all bullshit, then that would mean that the Democrats are by far the most evil, exacting, perfect James Bond.
Well,
Jason
now you're
Bourne,
getting it, Titus.
Jason Bourne.
Yeah, you got
Why
it.
couldn't they win the election? They had the most qualified person that they could possibly get.
It's all about the deep state.
The deep states ain't go that deep because
The
Hillary
swamp.
lost.
Yep.
The swamp
Hillary lost and got 3 million more votes.
is all pulled by the deep state. Control America.
States deep.
To confuse us.
Oh, I'm confused. All
How
right.
deep does state go?
Well, pretty deep, because if you think about it, it's actually a greater conspiracy theory to have your candidate lose if you're the deep state, just to throw everybody off their game so that they think that they're off balance,
Put
right?
their own people in there.
But you just got to wait for them to strike, because they will eventually. Just wait. Just like Obama was the Antichrist. It's
Sure
coming.
was.
It's coming.
It's coming.
So the 3 years of Trump fucking up the country is a setup?
Sure is.
Yes.
Now you're getting it. Oh my
Yes.
God.
Yes.
Well, it is set up. This guy is so crazy to me. So he totally fucks the Kurds. He lets Turkey go in
Yeah, he does. Oh my
and
God.
bomb the shit out of them.
Yeah.
And then today he's like, well, the head of the Kurdish people called me and was saying thank you. Did he? Did he really say that? Because
I believe you.
There's a ceasefire
Sure.
now.
Yeah.
Sure. Just like China, they had worked out the trade deal. They called him earlier today, and just like he couldn't go to the climate change meeting because he was
He's always
meeting
like,
with.
Sorry, I'm talking to China right now. Yeah, the deal's done. Deal's done. Everybody, deal's done.
Deal's
I'm
done.
sorry.
Deal's done.
Didn't mean to do it on camera.
Do you
Deal's
know
done.
that there is now-
Hold on.
Excuse me,
Yeah.
Mr. Trump.
Hey, the king of Kurdistan is here. Hi, how are you? You're happy? Of course you are. No, it's all great. I'm just talking to the press.
Mr. Trump,
Fake news.
you're
Excuse me, I'm talking to Kurd. Yeah, thank you. The candies were nice. Thank you. All right.
Mr. Trump, are you supposed to have a personal
Hold on.
self? Okay.
Mr. Putin? Yeah, no, you're bad and we don't like you.
Don't be a tough guy.
Don't be a tough guy. I'll call you later.
Call you later.
What?
Wait a minute.
Have you seen like various readings of that letter? I've seen like people like on YouTube reading it as like a desperate girlfriend, like trying to like talk.
The one he sent to Turkey.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the leader Turkey. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so that letter is the most ridiculous thing I've ever read in my entire life.
The check yes or no box. He was saying, "What's your name? 1, 2, 3,
like
Donald
this.
D." Oh, and it's like, holy crap. Oh, shit. He would not have known that.
Check yes if you want to be tough guy. Check no if you want me to call you.
Yeah, and the letter, I don't think I've ever in my life, like the Trump library is going to be just a shelf of just crayon drawings.
Do you think he's going to have a library?
Every president gets a library. Even W had a library, but compared to this guy,
I guess Nixon did.
Did Nixon get a... No, Nixon got impeached. Yeah, I think there is a Nixon library.
Well, but except Nixon...
Library?
Yeah, I heard that. I wasn't going to say it.
I was just like, I was glossing through that one, buddy.
You said it at
I'm going to call myself on this show.
You said it at a low enough octave that I wasn't sure that everyone heard you. So.
Okay, got him.
Pictures.
Nixon resigned, except during that time, Nixon was still affecting foreign policy and national policy.
He opened up China. He was doing his job.
He was being a president. He, was able to read and write.
Wonder if he was if we had Twitter, would Nixon have been like, well,
yes.
I know you were about to do a bit. Continue, please. What does Richard Nixon's Twitter look
This
like?
was Mr. Ed. It sounded like.
Please continue.
Wilbur.
yeah, just like, I'm gonna see the new Star Wars. Anybody else? Why is he tweeting?
Nixon Library.
He's so excited. Oh, he's doing a voice.
No, you started and then you stopped. I was like, no.
The Nixon Library is in Yorba Linda, California.
Yeah, he got a library, but he was smart.
In Yorba Linda.
He was smart enough to resign when they told him to. Like again, at the end of the day, Nixon was a political animal and knew the rules.
You caught me. Yeah. Okay.
This guy.
Well, he only resigned when he got hat. You know what I mean?
He handed over the tapes when he was asked for them.
Yeah,
Do you think that's gonna happen with this guy?
No. Well, he also didn't have like the DOJ on his side, and like
there was that.
He didn't like Trump has literally packed the White House with his people.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, did you see today he tweeted, the never-Trumper Republicans, though on respirators with not many left, are in certain ways worse and more dangerous for our country than the do-nothing Democrats. Watch out for them. They are human scum.
You know what I think he does? I think he has like a column of like adjectives.
Yeah.
And
what he does is he like goes through and he's like, all right, Democrat starts with a D.
Yep.
What
do nothing.
That's a good
okay,
one.
All right.
So the thing is, if he has a generator, he couldn't do it. He could.
Right.
He just goes,
well, he's got some aids. It's just like
do nothing Democrats.
perfect.
Right?
That's brilliant. Smart guy. Very tough.
Dumbass never Trumpers. Oh, I can't say dumbass. Oh, yes, I can.
Yeah, he does.
He says shit all the time. So here's the thing. I don't understand why you people continue to follow this guy. Listen, I know you're not all dumb. I know very smart conservatives. Not all of them. But why the hell are you following this? It's really obvious the guy's a criminal. Everybody he hangs out with is under indictment, about to be under indictment, under investigation, or in prison.
Well, my favorite new defense is it's not even like you were saying fake news, right?
Right.
It's not even the fake news. It's get over it. Like that's the new
thing,
that's the new defense. Like, are you kidding? Get over it.
Mulvaney, but why Vaney is not a good thing to have in your name. I don't want Vaney in my name. But he came out and did the get over it. Is that's the new America?
Like I'm gonna.
That's dictatorship.
If I hit someone with my car and I go to court, right, and the judge is like, "Did you hit the person with your car?" And my defense is, "Get over it."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, well, okay."
So you brought a gun to a Walmart and you shot 3 people? Yeah. Second Amendment, get over it.
By the way, Get Over It t-shirts are now available at donaldjtrump.com
Yes, they are.
for profit,
Hashtag
$35 a pop.
I think that's the one thing he's really good at. And although this new thing with the Biden thing didn't catch,
No.
If anything, it drove it the other way. Like he keeps kind of going after Biden and his son. And here's the weird part. Even the left wing starts to buy into it.
Sure.
They're going, oh man, yeah, Biden, yeah. It was kind of shady. I go, was it? He was getting paid. How many other people get paid $50,000 from a month from a company? A shitload of people make over $1 million a year. What are you talking about? Like, why would you?
I love that it's only a problem now that Biden decided to run against him. Like, Biden hasn't been in office. Yeah.
I mean, but
But
here's the
suddenly
thing, though.
it's a problem.
Like when I was on the podcast,
Yes.
this is something we had talked about.
The salad days of Ryan Fetus Farmer, yes.
Oh, man. Well, you didn't even introduce me as Fetus, so I appreciate
He did.
that.
He said Ryan Fetus Farmer.
Oh, okay.
But I used to just call him Fetus.
You know,
Feety.
just I'm coming.
Toe walking
coming along
baller.
with Toe walking baller. Raise the roof.
Stop. Nobody says
I
raise
say
the
that.
roof. Nobody.
No,
No,
it's-
you
no, literally
don't.
no one says that.
You don't
No,
say it
no.
either.
No,
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 don't
that's it.
raise
Yeah,
the
we're-
roof.
no,
You
we're
guys
raising it.
stop. I don't like the way you do it. You limp-wristed raise the roof. There's
90-degree
It's not
angles.
that heavy. It's balsam.
yeah.
You're gonna
No, yeah. Why
balsam
are you
roof?
doing?
Where are we partying?
It's a heavy roof.
Okay, you both. Okay, you both have to stop. Nobody says raise the roof.
Nobody.
Thank
None.
you.
Anyway,
All right.
what I was saying
carry
is,
on.
so Trump is so good at just controlling, like hurting the media cats, right?
Yes.
So like this Joe Biden thing, like all this stuff, like all he's doing is trying to distract from this impeachment proceeding. And so we're talking about all of this stuff as we continue to
Instead
do
of- right.
instead of the impeachment proceedings, which is the most important thing.
Like lynching.
Yeah.
I said this to Lash Guy Greg yesterday. Lynching. He tweets that word.
Lash guy Greg is a black guy.
I-
He would have
is.
some insight onto what lynching really
And
is.
I-
no, he knows what lashing is.
Yeah,
right?
lynching and lashing.
And so I said, here's what really drives me crazy is I'm listening to CNN when I'm driving there, and they then talk about the tweet that says the word lynching. Then they bring on the head of the NAACP
Yeah.
to discuss the historical significance of lynching and to give the statistics of lynching. And then we're going to later delve into Maya Angelou's book, The Raisin
Sure.
in the Sun. I mean, I'm like, this is stop.
Well, the
stop.
thing is, like, it's
Cornel
important.
West was bringing up strange fruit. He said, Cornel West, I love listening to Cornel West. He makes me crazy.
Oh, my
but
gosh.
He's like, when Billie Holiday sang Strange Fruit, you know what? They need a guy, and we need a guy in Congress like the saxophone player in that band. That's what he said last night. He's like, because that
Saxophone
solo
player.
during Strange Fruit will actually bring you to your knees on lynching. What?
And look, and let me be clear.
Sure.
It horrifically inappropriate.
Unacceptable.
But everyone has to understand that he's doing it on purpose.
Eyes on the prize.
Yes, he is a master at deflection
Yep.
and PR. He has always been brilliant at that.
And-
he's not
and
even
Pete
a
on,
billionaire,
too. From
but
Suppose-
everyone thinks he is. I mean, he is a master at
Well,
it.
it even isn't even like a secret either. Like it's not like he's not good in the way everyone's just soaking it up because all they care about is money because that's the stuff. That's how he got elected, right? Because he was a fun clown that they could put on and people
Right.
would watch, right? And that's how he accidentally became president. So like when he tweets in 2016 that Obama will start a war in order for him to get reelected and deflect, that's something like, I would do that. Like, Obama's going to do I would do that. And here we are. Let's
Right.
pull our forces out and fuck over the Kurds. And now that's a perfect deflection. Now everyone's talking about that, and they're not talking about the impeachment proceedings, as we should be talking about that, because now Russia and Turkey have just had a handshake deal, and we're fucked because
Yeah.
he's an incompetent asshole.
And somehow Putin is in control again.
Go figure.
Isn't that crazy? Zelensky, at the end of the ceasefire, goes to Russia
Sure
to meet
does.
with Putin on the same day that the ceasefire ends so that they can come up with an agreement that obviously Putin is directing.
We're not, like,
It's so coincidental.
Putin's troops are patrolling.
They're
that
on the
part of
ground.
Syria. They're
Isn't
on the
that
ground.
crazy? Where
They're
he
on the
wanted to
ground
be for
in
so many
bases
years.
that we built
Yes.
there.
like,
Yes.
it's
Like how okay, so people, you got to understand this. I know it's weird because it's weirdly my job now with the podcast to kind of watch what's going on, and I know
Sure is.
I'm always surprised when people go, I don't know, I don't watch the news. I mean, really, because shit's about to catch on fire. Like honestly, remember, did you ever seen the Terminator movies? Coming, pretty much coming.
It's coming.
Skynet, we're this
We'll
close.
talk to Andrew Yang. He'll agree with that.
yeah. But so people, Russia has moved into our bases in Syria.
Yep.
They are there.
Where they have wanted to be
Right.
for a long time.
The troops, he said, I got to pull them out. I don't want endless wars. Well, he sent them to Iraq.
He
They're
sent
not coming home.
14,000 more troops
To Saudi Arabia.
To Saudi
And
Arabia.
now we
Like
got-
this isn't. Sorry to interrupt you. Like this whole shtick on ending endless wars.
Right.
That's not a thing he's doing.
No,
he's
it's
just
not.
lying.
He's-
But continue. Sorry.
He's
They're
a
all
big
going-
boy.
They're all actually going. They're going to Saudi.
I'm a big boy.
You
We have
are.
more
Big
troops
boy.
in the Middle East now, and people keep buying the bullshit. People, why are you buying this bullshit? I don't listen. If the guy was awesome, honest to God, would be the first guy to go. You know what? I may not like his policies. He's gonna be a bit of a weirdo, but it's working.
Because a bunch of his supporters only care about quote unquote owning the libs.
But
like,
here's
they don't
the thing.
care.
At the heart of it all is the media. And you know how he
Right.
accuses everyone of what he's doing. Fake news, fake news, fake news. Well, what has been proven to be fake news? Fox. They even said that they're an entertainment channel in court.
Right.
So I said to Greg yesterday, I go, I don't understand how people can say he's bringing them home. He's bringing the troops home. And then he sends at the same time 14,000 to Saudi Arabia to protect oil and then transfers those to Iraq.
He secured it.
And
got it.
But they don't. And I'm like, how can we know good people? Sam Damaris last week, his parents are African American. They support the guy. And Greg said because they're not hearing the truth. If they're only
Not
watching
all Africans Americans are good people.
Shut
Just
up.
like not all Caucasians are good people.
Hot take. That's a hot
really,
take.
that was
Here
a
we
hot
go.
take. So he always has one.
She goes, here's his parents are good people. They're African American. Hold on.
No, I feel like that's double down on why you should not like Donald Trump.
That is valid.
I mean, if you're a minority, holy shit.
He doesn't care about you.
No,
That's for sure.
and has proven it now. But I don't even know what I was going to say. You totally threw me off, asshole.
You sent all the...
But anyway, they're watching Fox,
Right.
and so they're not hearing it. We were at his aunt and uncle's house last week, and we turn on TV, and they record Helmet Head, what's his name? Hannity. And that's all they watch. And if you watch it, it's it doesn't even sound like news. It doesn't even sound real. It's like a crazy guy like Rush Limbaugh just ranting about stuff that doesn't even make sense.
Right.
And we were watching Rachel Maddow last night. If everyone could be forced to watch Rachel Maddow, we could all move forward.
I got a little beef with her, but overall, yes.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this. I want to hear this.
Anyway, let me just say, so last night she did a great episode where she said it's playbook, people. He did the exact same thing in 2016. He is going step by step. The new controversy is Biden. It was butter emails, which is now nobody talks about it, but yesterday, 2 days ago, the State Department released their findings. The Republican-led State Department released their findings that she didn't do anything inappropriate.
Sure, of course
After
not.
the
And-
8th time, we have found out that she did nothing wrong. You know what that means?
Well, of course
We're going to keep looking.
Yep.
Well,
you
of
gotta
course, she
keep
didn't do
finding.
anything wrong, because if she did do something wrong, then some of these Republicans that have had private email servers would have also been
Which
doing
is happening
something
right
wrong.
now in
Which
this
is happening right now,
administration.
by the way.
But
So
it's the same thing. So Biden's son, it's all she said, except be more afraid now because he's in power and
Right.
he's proven that he's willing to use the government resources for his own benefit.
She said that he's now everything that went on in 2016 with Russia's help in the campaign is now going on, except they've actually taken the little kinks out of it.
yeah.
And now he's got the power of the White House behind it. And
Crazy.
they have Zuckerberg who's helping.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck
You
that
never
guy.
liked him. You were good on
Never,
that.
ever.
Guys, I think we're all going to sign out of Facebook. I'm going to actually get off Facebook pretty quick. I can't deal with a dude that is willing to just flat out go, well, if you pay me enough money, you can lie to millions of people. That's not a... And we have no standards now. And the internet's been around long enough. It's time to set some standards. Someone said today, they said that if Zuckerberg got fined... They said that if basically every time there was a lie that they let out on Facebook, that they didn't do any research, if he got fined every time, it would stop tomorrow.
It's crazy. Yeah, I think that the problem right now, in my opinion, is that there's a lot of deep-rooted issues happening in the country that, in my opinion, kind of go back to Citizens United and the fact that lobbyists can pump unlimited money into various candidates and allow regulatory capture, like with the FCC. And because of that, we aren't able to actually put regulation in place to limit what some of these various companies can do, right? So Zuckerberg can do whatever he wants with his data because there's no actual regulation. Right. And in addition to that, our government's filled with a bunch of old white guys who don't even know how the internet works. So how are you going to they don't know.
Old jowly white guy.
We have all this regulation on mail and our privacy with our handwritten physical mail, but there's none of that for the internet because we just haven't caught up because it's just old white guys. And ISPs, your internet service providers certainly don't want to be regulated because they lose profits. Everything is all about your profit bottom line in the country right now. And that trickles down to, not in the trickle down in the government, the economic sense, but the growing economic divide between the rich and the poor because we're slowly losing, our regulation and all that. And so when we're turning...
Let me say it less confusing. So here's the problem is because we have
That's pretty clear.
Because we have less regulation,
Sure.
what ends up happening is less regulation, these companies make money. So because Citizens United is around, they take that money, they actually pump it in the government so they have less regulation.
Yeah.
So then they get more money. So then they pump that money into less regulation. So these people are all becoming hugely rich because they can do whatever they
want. And then they are able to pump money into getting a politician and they'll give them them tax breaks to give them more money. Right. And so the economic divide gets bigger and bigger and bigger. The younger people who are going to college get drowned in student debt and they can't get out. And there are a lot of issues in the country, but I think it all goes back to the fact that there isn't enough control over money in politics.
In the 60s, 50s, and 60s, when our middle class was rocking, the tax base, rich people got taxed a lot more.
Sure.
By the way, I want this. I would get taxed more, but we'd have a better.
Not even
economy.
you specifically. Like a lot of what we're talking about with these rich people being taxed, like stuff like even Warren and Sanders, all these people are proposing stuff that it's the top half of the 1%, like 6 people would get taxed this absurd amount, and only when we're talking about what is it, the tiered tax laws, I can't remember what it is, but you're not
but it's riveting what you're going through.
Well, you're not getting taxed that 50% on all of your income. It's only the income over like
50 million
or 100 million or whatever. That's where nobody needs that much money.
But you have to watch, well, say that to the guy, and hold on I have a $300 million yacht, and there is a $1.5 billion yacht that I
fuck
need.
you. Fuck you, guy.
Hey, well, kill him. That's the kind of money I want.
When the poor people are, when the poor people are,
bang!
When the poor people are eating you, then when the poor people are literally eating the rich, then he'll wish that he
The problem is that we've made them so much more resourceful because they've had to be in order to eat and make their rent. And so we probably will get eaten by them.
If I'm eating rats.
Here's the thing is that we benefited from the tax cut because we're business owners, but we're fighting against it because it's not what's best for the country or for everyone.
Sure.
And I think that's the problem is that especially the Republicans, the old jolly white guys, if it benefits them, then everybody's like, oh, just keep your mouth shut.
I don't know, man. Eating the rich. I don't want a fillet of old jolly white guy. I really don't.
Really chewy.
Really
super chewy.
These guys are
no
gamey.
way.
These
no
smell
way.
good.
It's gonna be marbled.
Marbled, lot of fat.
Lot of fat. And I bet the jowls are really good. That would be like the primo.
No, we
cut.
gotta be careful though, because there's also probably a lot of silicone and like other plasticky stuff in them too, right?
There's gonna be.
Just the women.
Oh,
yeah, right.
No,
yeah,
you don't think Trump's had work done? Come on, man.
Yeah, no, a man that will dye himself orange and use a tornado to style his hair.
He's had work done,
I'm sure he hasn't done filler or any such
so
thing.
You're saying the Dyson people coming to do his hair?
Thank you.
We needed a white man. We all did. It was awesome.
We're all on the same. We're all on the same plane, guys.
We are.
We're like orbs of light.
Wired together. Oh man. All right, come on. Speaking of orbs of light.
No. You're not okay.
No. Lightsabers. By the way, everybody, Fetus works at Disney.
Sure do.
Fetus has also possibly, maybe not. We can't say for sure, but he possibly could, being on the thing.
Did you see it?
I've seen nothing. So
he's seen none.
Are you telling the truth
at all? He's never seen any of it.
Yeah. What?
Are you telling the truth?
Yeah, I'm telling the truth. You
can or cannot say that.
Well,
you
okay. So in my specific department, right, I have a very strict NDA, and so stuff is constantly like moving through. Like when Mary Poppins came in back in December, obviously, like we are working.
If you went down for Mary Poppins right now, they're like, dude, I'm going down for Mary Poppins. I'm in Disney prison.
So
I'm in Moskowitz.
Obviously, like actually, we just had a security quiz today at the company because every year you have to take
a security quiz.
Yeah, no, you have to re-up on a security quiz on the standards at Disney of like what you can and can't do. Like when you mail something, like what do you need to include? Like we have all security titles for all of our stuff. You don't actually use like the real name. Like episode 8 was called Space Bear. That was the security title for that one. And so it's just really interesting how intense the security is like actually at Disney.
I'm always curious.
So can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Because of that NDA, would you not be able to tell us if you had seen anything?
Right, I can't tell you anything. Like, I can't tell you what I have or I haven't seen.
Oh, so he's probably seen it, but he can't say.
Even off camera. Even like, just so you know who this guy is. I was trying to bug him. He was helping me do some editing yesterday, and I'm like, come on. So what happens, Luke, and this and that. And I don't know. Could happen that way.
Well, I thought of you because the tickets are on sale now for December, exactly. But I didn't think about the fact that you've probably or may not have seen it.
I can tell you for a fact that like the thing that's under lock and key the most is episode 9. Like, more than anything, like, nobody outside of Lucasfilm is, like, touching that.
Is this...
Because here's the thing. JJ doesn't use Disney's post houses. He uses Bad Robot to do all of his work.
Oh.
So he uses his own people to do almost all that. So Disney actually, and Lucasfilm doesn't touch a whole lot of that, you know?
Okay.
So, because JJ just likes to use his people, you know?
Right.
So, like, it's really interesting how Pixar does stuff differently, Disney Animation does stuff differently, Lucasfilm does. Everyone's got a different standard now that Disney has Fox. Holy shit, like, Fox does stuff, like, super differently now that, like, we've acquired them and going through all that. So, just all of this different stuff, everyone's got a different, like, how they view how secure stuff is. And Lucasfilm security is, like, woof, like crazy.
NSA, Jason Bourne.
You better believe it, because they don't want stuff.
Treadstone.
They don't want stuff leaking out, like, at all, and they know, like, all of our stuff is like it. Disney has a way to always know. They always know, man.
You know, it's weird when you think about it. When you think about it in this day and age, especially Star Wars, episode 9.
Yeah.
That nothing has like, I haven't heard. I honestly, when you actually said because you got your tickets on, we were editing, and then he goes, hold on, I gotta get my tickets. He goes online.
I literally stopped.
Did you already buy tickets?
I bought them
at the minute they went on sale and bought.
So you haven't seen?
Yeah.
And he almost didn't get seats. It was that fast.
Are you serious? Is it?
Imagine.
Yeah, it's like sold out for opening night, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
They sold 45% more tickets in the first hour than Endgame did. Like, it's ridiculous.
Is this the last one for real?
First Skywalker saga, but they're making more.
Just imagine
He'll be done?
Security of
Ham will be done.
The security of Disney kicks ass on the White House security like by 100 times.
I don't know if that's particularly true.
We're hearing all this shit from the White House. We're hearing these. We're hearing all this crazy.
The Disney,
I didn't hear anything about this.
Disney, our department has the highest possible security ranking, like digital security ranking you can have. We're like,
you have to.
Like, we have, I can't remember what it's called, but like a company comes in and audits us for our digital security, and we have like, or the gold stuff, platinum stand, whatever, just the highest possible rating you can get, because it matters. The money is on the line. Like, can you imagine if, like, accidentally, like, episode 9 got released onto the internet? That would be catastrophic. Like, the money lost.
Can you imagine that? No, I can't. That would be crazy.
That would cost Disney $2 billion.
It would cost them like an absurd amount of money.
Because instantly it would have been copied. You could never stop.
You can never stop it.
But that's my point. Is that so the security for a movie is much worse. I mean, the fucking guys that were running for Ukraine are going to sell weapons to help Ukraine.
I mean, the IRS is run by like 3 people. You know, like, it's not like the government's filled with all this extra cash to do stuff with.
Computers are all like I'll never forget that. So we were, during my divorce, we got audited, and I went to the IRS, and I may have talked about this before. I got an IRS, and the guy was so. I was going, how do you not know this? Well, and he goes, hey, I go, why does it take so long to here's the numbers? And he's like, our computer system is from 1966.
They had DOS.
Yeah.
Dude, it looked like the Matrix. The
green blinky cursor.
Yep. You want to know something else? So my roommate Kyle is, he just got married to this wonderful girl from Belgium.
Yep.
So he went he was doing work, and he went to Belgium, and he met her in an ice cream store. Great story. And they kept talking, and then he would go back over there for work, and they ended up, like, getting together, and she would stay over here.
They did it.
They probably, yes. They would
bed stuff.
Bed stuff.
Oh, that
bed stuff though. Bed stuff. So she would come over here for 3 months at a time. He would go over there for 3 months at a time. And they got married. Great. So they've submitted the paperwork so that she can get the visa to move here, and it's like pre-Trump, like, administration, it would take probably like 3 months or something like that. He said it's gonna take 12 to 18 months for that visa to go through, because the department that handles that got gutted,
and
it's literally run, I think, by like actually 2 or 3 people,
because he won't appoint people to fill all these positions.
There's like 2 people that every day they go to work, and they've got this massive backlog of people that are trying to like get married to foreigners, and they have to go through and like approve them. They got to vet the people, right? Make sure that it's on on the up and up and everything. But like, these poor people that have to go in every day, and it's like, that person's not getting.
She's from Iceland, Norway.
What?
Where's she from?
Belgium.
She's from Belgium.
Not even close.
That's white. It's white people. That's white people. Don't they have one guy that just handles white people on the trip?
Oh, I get it. So like, one person has like the white people stack, and they can just boom, boom,
right.
They can just
That's
stamp that all day.
White,
Good. Visa, and then they got the not white people station, brown people station, etc.
They're like
Brian,
Nick, Gunther, Abdul, hold
on. No,
Wait a minute. We got
that guy's got to wait another 2 years.
Jamal, there's a Jamal in here. Why is there a Jamal?
You know what? Let's approve him when he comes over. We'll get ice on his ass and send him back. That's what we'll do.
We've dug a hole in our country. Like,
We could put him in a cage, actually. We have cages.
yes.
Those have seemed to work pretty well.
Cages are really in vogue. I should have, you know what? I feel bad because I didn't invest in cages early enough.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a real missed opportunity.
Cages and aluminum foil blankets would have really been a hit.
You know?
By the way, something that those people don't have is a razor. They don't. They can't
the
shave.
one thing they weren't supplying to,
They can't even
to
get
the
soap.
immigrants in the concentration camps was razors. But had they given them...
No. No. See?
I don't.
Another hot take.
Hot take.
Let's keep... and take 2.
Hi, everybody. Harry's Razor by far is the best razor you can buy. With a weighted handle, a 5-blade razor made in a German factory. It'll clean you up. He used to use them. Stop. Now look how fuzzy he is.
Sure. I mean, you know what? I actually used one yesterday. So.
Where?
No, I didn't use one yesterday.
Where?
Yeah.
Actually, I'm really glad that I haven't.
No.
Like, I tried out a new look, like 3 weeks ago, and I kind of liked it, but it's grown back since then. I'm really glad I didn't come in with the new look because I
'Cause
think
we would have
I
ripped
think
on
you
you?
guys were ripping it apart.
Adolf, he had it.
No. It was just the mustache and just
No.
the beard here.
No.
And so it wasn't mutton chop. It was beard here and mustache and no connecting piece here. It looked really good.
The child molester, you went
It
with
looked
that?
awesome.
No,
It looked incredible.
You needed a van?
I really can pull off
you
anything.
No.
went rural child molester. You
Yeah.
went deep rural.
I think it looks good.
That was the look.
Idaho child molester.
Exactly.
Yes.
Human trafficker.
You know what? I just wanted to see. You know what I was doing? I was just really wanting to see how far I could push my privilege, right? How molesty could I get and not get in trouble?
Turns out.
Did you use a Harry's razor?
Sure
You still-
did. But you
okay.
better believe it.
See, we got hooked on Harry's and sent him off into the world and look at him.
I know we joke about it. Harry's was our first advertiser because they were so good, but
Yeah.
they have honestly, we have turned so many people. We get emails all the time,
The
dude,
cult.
I cannot believe I got so mad. Finally, I ordered just so you guys would shut up,
Yep.
so I could.
We do get a lot of those.
and they were and it's the best razor I've ever used.
I remember pre-Harry's razor, you'd come in with little red dots all over your face
I
because you don't
did.
actually know how
And
to shave.
patches of
Yeah,
hair
little patches.
always.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
forgot about that. I
Yeah.
did.
And
You
you'd have
did.
before your show, you'd be God, I look like Ray, give me your makeup. And you'd
Oh,
cover it
yeah,
all up.
because of the little nicks. I
little
forgot.
nicks.
Little tip on Harry's razor after you shave it because it's so good, it's so efficient. You got to flip it over, pop it in your hand once, all the hair will come out. Boom.
Yep.
Put that in the drain and then call a plumber.
And then you can use the post shave, what is it? Not wintergreen, the
balm?
the balm. Peppermint, yeah, the peppermint balm.
We actually got an
Incredible.
email from a guy.
Did you hear how much love he just had for the peppermint
I
balm?
love me some that peppermint
All right,
balm,
so
dude.
Harry's razor, people.
We
go to
actually did get an email from a guy named Steven who's in Jefferson, Georgia. We just got it 4 days ago. And he said he's been a fan since the TV show. You kept talking about Harry's, and he was totally annoyed. He was on another razor subscription for 10 years. And finally, and he was satisfied with it. And he said that finally he was like, you know what? God, you guys, you just go on and on and on about it. So he did it. He
Doing
said
it.
3 months later, and I'm sold. They really are the best razor blades I've ever used. I
For real,
have
though.
especially heavy and coarse facial hair. I couldn't get a month out of a blade, anyway. But he's without ripping off
So you go.
skin.
Sure.
So what do they get if they go to the website?
All you have to do, you guys know the deal. You get the whole trial set. You just go to harrys.com/Titus. You get the blade, the handle, the shave gel, and the travel blade cover. And you get all of that for free. You just have to pay for shipping. harrys.com/Titus.
We're getting to the Crix Mix season.
Oh, they're about to put out their Crix
that
Mix set.
Crix Mix, though.
I know.
Get hyped,
It's coming
people.
out. We already got a notification of the call
3
coming.
or 4 boxes, 3 or 4 or 5 boxes, save up.
Yeah, you get a bunch. Yeah, this is the pro tip though, right?
Yeah.
You get a bunch of them, and they're not that expensive, and you just have them. And
under
whenever you
$10.
got and whatever, you're good. You can be drowning in student debt and still be good, and have this. And any Secret Santa you go to or anything, man, woman, doesn't matter. It's a hit. You're good.
Yeah,
you
it's
forget about a
badass.
family member. You're like, oh man, my
Yeah.
uncle. I don't like
the
him that much.
douchebag that shows up. The
Yeah.
douchebag that shows up. You weren't invited to dinner. I just drove in. I drove in from Maine.
Your best friend gets you a gift, and you feel like a dick because
Yep.
you didn't get him something. He's like, "Hey man, it's not you're my
like,
friend."
bam.
And you're
By
like,
the way, if you didn't get your best friend something, you are a dick.
well, he thinks that I'm his best friend, but he's not my best friend.
Like Dennis.
Sometimes someone who thinks
Dennis.
First of all, me and Ryan hang out all the time, and we go to.
I haven't seen you
we go,
in a year.
We go to Comic-Con.
No.
And we go, and I was there.
No.
I was dressed as a Boba Fett. I was just
Impressive.
I just followed you around.
You excited for the Mandalorian, Dennis?
I get. Oh,
Are you
can't wait.
excited?
The Mandalorian.
I know. It's very exciting.
Oh, Star Wars is by far.
I literally only came on here to shill Disney products
films of all time.
of all time.
So you guys were together.
George Lucas is a genius.
You were together
Yeah,
at
I hung
Comic-Con.
out.
How do you feel about the Disney? How's Disney handling Star Wars? Plus, thumbs up, thumbs down. Do you like?
I
how
would
they're
say
doing?
that, by the way, they've actually stayed true to the basic premise of Star Wars. And,
Wow.
Yet they've also expanded the universe to a position where possibly I can see how it can split off into 3 or 4 different series.
Wow, that's really
what would you
that's
give
incredible
it? What
insight.
ranking on a scale of 1 to 10?
7.3.
A 7.3.
7.3.
Wow,
Surprising.
that's really
What are you asking
good.
me? 7.3.
No, it's exactly what.
No, I only go 0 to 7.3. So I don't
It's
Is
0
that- is
or.
no such
Isn't
thing as a
that
10.
what what people say to you backstage, right? You know, that was a 7 out of 10.
7.3. 7.3.
That was
That's
really
about
good.
that.
Really good show. One of the best woman comedians I've ever
Here's
seen.
my favorite. You were pretty funny.
Pretty funny.
What was I?
How about this one?
Well, you were a lot better than the first time I saw you.
we came and saw Titus 6 years ago, and you were horrible.
You were a lot better than the first time I saw you.
You know what's funny is
Oh my
that
God.
I've seen comedians online listing things that people say to them
Yeah.
after shows, and they're just like, just don't say anything at all, and it's all the same stuff. Or here's one that I saw. I think Lori Kilmartin posted. Yeah, I thought you were funny. I was the one laughing. And I always think
Well, you sounded like many people.
it would be like after I thought I'm hard on myself, like most comics
One
are.
laughing.
And I would have a rocking set, like people applauding,
Yeah.
screaming out, like killer set. Like I'd get off stage, like go out to
I
sell
high-five her,
merch.
and I'm like, that was awesome.
Yeah, and go out to sell merch. Yeah, I was the one laughing. I thought you were funny. And then if you say, but everyone else was laughing, then you sound pathetic. No, everyone else was laughing. I promise. I heard them. It wasn't just you.
in your head.
we got to go with the lame boozer, what the legend said. Just be funny about it. Go, oh, thank God. I knew there was only one person laughing, and it was you. Thank you. Hug them.
She's right. If you do defend yourself, you sound like
look
it's
like a
true.
douche.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you do look like a douche.
I know that. Yeah, it's surprising, and I continue to work as a comedian when only one
I would have
person
just been
laughs.
like, I heard you. That's what I would have said.
I heard
move
you
on.
laughing,
I heard
and you
you.
were
And
awesome.
they went like that when they go, how much are DVDs? $400.
The first time you were here and
We
you
only
laughed,
sell the one.
not so good.
This
But
time,
tonight, pretty good.
I was the one on stage telling jokes. That was me.
Yeah, pretty good.
Who else is helping with the podcast?
Also brought to you by MeUndies. Obsessed.
love
Just ordered.
MeUndies.
Can I just tell
I
you?
gotta tell you a lot, MeUndies.
This is how you know
I
that.
was
This
wearing
is a new
me
one
a
for
Day
me.
of the
This is
Dead.
this is new.
No, they're the ones
Halloween.
that did the
Oh, I
Star
like it.
Wars onesies.
Oh,
Yeah, I knew that would clue you in.
Click.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
man.
got it.
So listen,
Do you know MeUndies?
they I just placed an order for MeUndies 2 days ago without a promo
ordered
code or
MeUndies.
anything because I love them. The socks I ordered and t-shirts. But anyway, this is what they still have, the Star Wars onesie
Okay.
with the stormtroopers dancing under disco balls.
pretty incredible.
Super dope. That's what we have. And I was thinking you should get one so maybe we could all hang out together and wear them at the same time.
You do know if you do a Christmas party, I'm there. I was there at the last Christmas party.
We should all wear those.
Ooh, in. Super duper in.
Because, by the way, I would love people to show up to our Christmas party. Everyone's dressed in jackets and looking nice. We'll dress.
Sure,
And a
sure.
onesie.
The 3 of us are wearing onesies with the hoods that match.
I'm gonna bring my
That
onesie
would
in a.
be super awesome.
I'm gonna bring my onesie in a bag to make sure you guys come in. Because I know she's not wearing it.
I will.
She'll look
I
fly.
will. In
so-
high heels. I will.
He was right.
So they super
bag,
exciting
please.
too. When I was on their website, they're doing Halloween costume onesies or Halloween print onesies, but you can actually get the certain costumes. You guys got to go look at their website
So guys,
right
tell
now.
me about MeUndies. They use modal fabric. It's cool.
What fabric?
It's modal.
Modal.
Oh, I didn't hear what you
Modal.
said.
It's really. It's cool. It's soft. I have
Never
switched-
never stretches, never fades.
I
Wow.
love MeUndies. I had a different kind of underwear for a very long time, and since we've started using MeUndies, they've been getting edited out, and I only have MeUndies.
Do you have them on now?
I do have MeUndies right now.
Which ones?
I've got the. It's just they're just great.
The plain solid color.
But you like MeUndies.
I
right?
do like you undies. They sent us Day of the Dead matching booty shorts. He got boxer
Whoa.
briefs. I got booty
I didn't
shorts
get
with
booty
Day of the
shorts.
Dead.
I am surprised they didn't give you the booty shorts as well.
Oh, I'd have worn them.
Yeah, you would have.
Yeah.
Anyway, MeUndies, all you have to do to get 15% off your first order, free shipping, and 100% satisfaction guarantee, which Fetus loves. All you have to do is go to MeUndies.com/Titus.
All about that free shipping.
MeUndies.com/Titus.
Got it.
I have a question. What do you think this is going to go with the impeachment? I think it's going to go down. I think at one point what's going to happen is that all these Republicans who are just kind of keep backing this idiot up because every day there's something new.
Yeah.
I think eventually they're going to see that I can't because we need to have a vote on it. We need to get the Democrats to get off their ass, get it done, get it to the Senate. Because once it gets to the Senate, then we can all go back and go, well, we know he committed crimes. What you gonna do?
Well, here's the thing.
And then you can just then during the next election you can be like, oh no, this guy voted for a criminal over and over.
The GOP is bigger than Trump, right? You know that the GOP is trying to figure out what their strategy is. So if they're like they're trying to decide, okay, we could kick Trump to the curb, right? If Congress serves him up to us, like McConnell and the
McConnell had wrote a weird op-ed too.
He's just covering his own ass. I don't believe it.
Exactly.
He can't turn on Trump because then he would risk his wife being in trouble.
Because of Chinese
government, going to jail because,
Well, here's what I'm saying.
And then he's got the whole
Maybe
steel
not.
mill.
It depends because what if they...
Aluminum plant.
Right.
Aluminum plant. Same thing.
Here is my conspiracy theory with how this could possibly go down,
Do
right?
tell.
So...
and now it's tinfoil hour with Fetus.
Hi. Welcome.
He's so much more confident now. Look at him.
I
We raised him.
Who's a big boy?
I'm a big
You
boy.
are
I'm a big boy. I did it.
You go. You say what you
I'm
want
gonna
to say right now.
I'm
Go
gonna
for
say
it.
I'm doing it.
Say it to the camera.
We got Congress, and they're
And he's
just gonna,
purple.
You got Congress, and they're just going to be like, okay, here, Senate, do your thing. Because they got the votes now. You know it. They're just trying to make sure that the Senate can do everything.
I think it's going to be an overwhelming vote to impeach
Sure.
the guy.
No.
At least move forward
Not
to
in the Senate,
vote.
but in the House.
In the House, they're going to toss it to the Senate, right? And the Republican Party very well could flip, right? And be like, yeah, they want to be the heroes. And they'll be like, see, it was our votes that got him kicked off. All the while, they are grooming some other GOP member to run in this presidential race. So now the GOP can be like, see, we booted Trump. Look at this awesome guy that we have running for president now. And that's how they will attempt to keep the White House.
They would have to be sort of introducing
late.
him to us right now in weird
Romney.
satellite ways.
I mean, Romney kind of is right now.
Yeah, so here's my conspiracy theory. Because is this possible? Because right now, what we saw yesterday is Pence is implicated in this. Rick Perry's implicated in
Sure
this.
is.
These guys are deep in. Like these guys were running
Pompeo.
They were running a Pompeo
Bar.
So that's the top people of the Justice Department.
Top men.
Yeah, and then you got if Pence goes too, that means Nancy Pelosi's president. That
I mean, if that's what happens, I mean that there's not enough
Could
time.
that happen?
Well, there's only a year left before the next election. I don't think there's enough time for all the court proceedings and everything that needs to happen. Like, there might be enough time to oust Trump, but to also then oust Pence as well, and then like bring in Pelosi, there would be a need.
So she'd get like a weekend.
There would be
She'd
a
be
weekend.
president for like a weekend.
First female president gets a weekend. Here we go. Holla.
They give her a 3-day weekend.
Here's my conspiracy theory
Ooh.
that I started to tell you about.
Do tell.
You know how you're starting to see that, especially if you watch the news and really dive into all this, it all intertwines.
Sure.
It all leads back to the same people, and really ultimately with Putin as well.
Yeah, Russia. I mean, it does really back.
So I can't understand why these Republicans are, especially, they're supposed to be decent people, and they stay on his boat. And so Jeffrey Epstein, right?
Yeah, that piece of shit
goes away. He dies, and I told him, I said, the investigation is going to end, and he said, why? I said, because I haven't charged anyone else yet.
I didn't get this.
Barr goes on national television and says, we're going to continue this investigation. If anyone else was involved, we're going to find them. And then it goes away.
Why.
Well, interestingly enough, Barr's law firm represented Epstein. Barr's father hired Epstein to be a teacher, even though he didn't have a degree to teach what he hired him to teach. Yeah.
He was teaching physics without a degree.
Even though he was a rapist. And so
Showing some people physics.
I'm saying, I've been saying a long time, God.
Pedophile emotions.
His face he makes when he makes a joke, it's bad. He even knew it was terrible.
Hold it. We need to cut to it.
So we can't understand why it's all still holding up. Well, that Epstein thing just faded away. And he coincidentally was killed like Russia mob style, where the cameras are down, the 2 security guards weren't there, the logs weren't.
Spooky.
Weird, right? So, I was saying a long time ago that Russia, that what Putin does, he's been KGB since he was 16. He's been trying to get in the KGB. They play the long game. That's what they do. They gather intel on people a little at a time. I say Epstein was working with Putin. That there's some connection there that we will never find. I say follow the money with Epstein, because even Greg Grunberg, your hero, was on, and he goes,
he's the man.
How did Epstein make that many hundreds of millions? He goes, I know people would pay for that, but not that much money. I say that money, if they tracked it, would lead back to Russian ties. And I say that guy was the one helping Putin gather all this intel. There are videos of Lindsey Graham with young boys.
Sure.
There are videos of all the rest.
Allegedly.
I said conspiracy theory, but notice that the root of it has disappeared.
I think that is legit. Like, I really,
because the Russians have so much money to send, because there's money. No one knows how Jeffrey Epstein made this money. So if he goes, if Putin would have no problem going, wait, hold on, wait a minute, let me get this straight. You have information with naked pictures with young girls of everybody and boys? 50 million, no problem, my brother.
Or he was behind him getting it. Once he heard what he was up to, he was like, okay, I need you to start doing this.
I mean, talking about the whole Russia problem, right? Like, the Russians have, I will say, there are inherent quote unquote advantages to things like fascism in that they don't have to go. There's no red tape. Right. Putin can do whatever he wants, right? That's what Trump wishes he had.
He does. He kills people who are running against him.
Putin can do anything he wants, right? So therefore, when Putin wants shit done, he gets shit done. Like, it works because Putin's a smart guy. If he were a buffoon, the country would just kind of fall into shambles. But Putin is so smart, he can see the long con, right? It's kind of like being the CEO of a company, right?
You do know that they have, but the people are pissed off.
No, I'm with you.
They're protesting, they're angry, and then it gets shut down violently, and we never see a picture of it.
Sure. But what I'm saying is Putin's long game was so smart to disrupt America, just slowly sow division, because if you build enough division in our particular structure of government, we don't get things done.
Who else coincidentally is experiencing massive division at the exact same time, and there are ties directly to Russia?
China and Hong Kong?
England.
Oh, England too.
UK.
Yeah, UK, big time.
Think how weird is that? We're having this and Brexit, and you've got it's everywhere, right? It's so coincidental, isn't it? It's so strange.
Actually, that feels super. Have you guys talked a bunch about Hong Kong on the podcast, like, at all?
Not a lot.
Because I'd love next week. Okay, because I think I
need to get into it. I don't know enough about it.
I know a lot about it, and I don't think that the media is giving it enough coverage. I don't think that.
Yeah, why? Okay, so
I think America should be back. I mean, obviously, America has to. I think China needs to be shamed, because the only way China responds to anything is culturally through shame.
Out of this.
Well, basically, they only...
On that note, hold that note.
Sorry.
China needs to be shamed. Speaking of Russians, a lot of Russians are butchers. And this episode also brought to you by ButcherBox.
Thank you. Segue
wow.
Speaking of Putin killing people.
Speaking of the Chinese government harvesting organs.
That too.
ButcherBox.
Oh my God, we're apologizing to him.
No, we never apologize.
ButcherBox was not... You never tried that. You left before that.
I did. I didn't try the meat box.
This.
Dude, here's the greatest. So we got ButcherBox, and then Grandma was staying with us. Grandma Jean was staying with us.
Oh, you.
And she goes,
I love me some Grandma Jean.
I'm taking that roast home. And we're like, no, you're not taking it. I'm taking them ribs too.
In her purse.
You're getting on a plane. And we're trying to figure out how to get her.
She said, I'm old. Nobody will bother me.
Fair. No, true.
We should just get her an organ cooler. All right, Grandma, you want to take the meat from ButcherBox home? Fine, just tell her.
She was trying to figure out how to get it home. She never asked me for it. She just saw me.
She just saw the refrigerator full of this badass meat.
It came while she was there, and she was like, she'd never seen somebody delivered meat to your doorstep. What? So you guys know that you can go, they have curated boxes, or you can make your own, which is my favorite part of it. And they have like salmon, they have crazy stuff. You can go, if you're just seafood and chicken, you can go and you just drag and drop into the little squares. I do it when I order from them. And it's It's super affordable. You can be healthier. It's humanely raised meat. And it averages out to like
Honestly,
$6 a meal.
Chicken, like that chicken that you made, it was some of the best chicken I've ever
Grass-fed and finished beef, free-range organic chicken, heritage pork, wild-caught Alaskan salmon, and sugar and nitrate-free bacon. They had scallops. It's crazy.
Where do they go?
It comes to your door.
Where do they go?
All you have to do is, by the way, it's Thanksgiving. Go do this. It's a perfect time to try it. Sign up today. You get dude, if you don't do this, you stupid. Go right now. You get a free turkey. It's almost Thanksgiving.
Oh my God, a free turkey.
I know, they do crazy deals. Plus $20 off your first box.
That's crazy.
Free turkey, $20 off your first box. Just go to butcherbox.com/Titus, or you can enter promo code Titus at checkout. butcherbox.com/Titus
Wow.
or Titus promo code. Dude, you get a free turkey and
Free
$20
turkey.
off.
Free turkey sounds
Things I
awesome.
could do with a free turkey.
Yeah, like, don't.
No. What?
Just why'd
What?
you have to? Why'd you
Why'd
say
you bring
like
it there?
that? Why'd you say it?
Why'd
like
you
that?
bring it there?
He's
I-
hungry. That's
things
what
I
he
can do
means.
with a
Okay,
free
go back to
turkey.
China needs to be shamed.
So, do you guys know the 5 demands of the Hong Kong protesters?
No,
Do you know why they're protesting?
There was an internet fee. There was going to be a $6 a month internet fee for WhatsApp.
He should just tell you.
No. So the 5
one of the things.
So the 5 demands of the Hong Kong protesters, and they will not stop protesting. They're in solidarity
Until they get it.
Number 1, full withdrawal of the extradition bill. So they had a new bill introduced where China could just take people from Hong Kong whenever they wanted, essentially. And the Hong Kong people were not cool with that.
Like just pick you up and you're going to
Basically, China would be like, tell the Hong Kong government, that's basically a puppet government at this point, hey, we want that guy because for any number of reasons, that's what China does. China erases people
or
they don't
for
like.
no reason.
Yeah, or for no reason. So they want that bill removed.
Hong Kongers is actually the word.
Is it Hong Kongers?
I looked it up. I thought it was Hong Kongese.
I didn't know how to say it. I didn't want to say it. That's why I said people from Hong Kong.
I saw you think about it, and that's when. Oh no, also known as Hong Kongese. We were right.
Oh, nice.
Or
Nailed
Hong
it.
Kongers, which I kind of like.
Hong
Kongers.
Kongers. Anyway,
like somebody-
demand 2, a commission of inquiry into alleged police brutality. So there's a ton of police brutality, especially against
Not
the
alleged. I've
protesters.
seen some video.
Sure, yeah,
It's not alleged
they're
anymore.
shooting people, they're stabbing people, like it's crazy. Number 3, retracting the classification of protesters as rioters. They don't want, because that's a different, if they're rioters, they can prosecute the people doing this differently than if they're protesters.
Right, and also there's a difference. Rioters are breaking shit and
And they're
setting it on
dangerous,
fire.
yes.
Protesters are walking through the street
Very
with
important
masks on
distinction.
and standing in front of cops.
And then amnesty for arrested protesters, because everything they're doing is peaceful protest. They've been so incredible in Hong Kong right now, so well organized. They've established their own government within the protests, and it's all peaceful. And
remember that woman that got her eye messed up?
Yeah.
And the next day they all showed up with iPads.
Exactly, yeah, it's crazy.
And then she lost an eye in one of the.
Number 5, dual.
I'm sure that made it better.
Universal suffrage
Doesn't matter, they made
for both the legislative council and the chief executive. They want everyone to be able to vote through democracy for their government in Hong Kong. Those are the 5 demands, nothing less. And it's really important that we talk about this because the news is so wrapped up in the Middle East and Trump's impeachment, but we have a fight for democracy happening in the world, that U.S. being the bastion of democracy that we are, we should be supporting these people.
Oh, I have to be honest with you. Every time I see, because I've watched the Hong Kong protest, Hong Kongers, I've watched it, and I'm like, these people are badass.
It's mind-blowing.
What happened to us?
It's
we
incredible.
Used to be these
and then you
people.
have fucking Blizzard, the video game company that they. Someone recently someone won $50,000 in one of their games, and he went on an interview and he said he supports the Hong Kong protesters. They banned the guy. They took all of his money away, and
basketball players.
Yeah, the basketball.
And then you've got the NBA who's letting Winnie the Pooh fuck him in the ass. You're just
because some of the owners have business ties.
it's
oh bother.
Well, you've got all these U.S.
Please
companies
don't ruin that for me too.
that are
No.
Pooh. All right, Pooh. So yeah.
He's ruined everything from my childhood
Do it
now.
harder.
Well, you know where the Pooh
It'll
reference
be
comes from, right?
over eventually.
I'm sure he doesn't.
You know where the Pooh reference comes from, right?
Where?
Winnie the Pooh's banned in China because the president, the people said the president looks like him.
That's right, the president, because Xing looks.
Yeah, he kind of looks like him. You put him next to each other, he kind of does.
He looks like Winnie the Pooh.
So Winnie the Pooh's banned in China.
And by the way, I guarantee you, ban something, it will follow you for the rest of your life.
So you have all these U.S. companies because China is such an incredible market, right? They make so much money in trade, and China and the U.S. are very, even though I would consider China kind of our enemies because they are communists and everything, we're reliant on them for trade. It's a symbiotic relationship, but we can't let China get away with the shit they're doing. We just can't let them take tons of people and put them in concentration camps and harvest their organs.
That's fucking what we're doing. We're doing that here. How can we actually say shit?
Well, to be fair, we're not harvesting their organs. But we did.
Not yet.
Trust me.
But we did adopt a lot of the children out to nice American families.
I'm sure we did.
Who we didn't know where they belonged.
Yep.
No, they adopted them, also known as kidnapped.
Sure.
And gave them to other families to raise.
So the parents
are never gonna get them back.
No, never getting them back.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Do you hear the war crimeness of that?
Right, but not to make this.
If this is a world war, that would be a war crime.
We're doing fucked up things, but this is not necessarily about us.
You're asking. But here's the thing: you're asking us and saying we need to get behind China and
no, we need to get behind Hong Kong, and we need to shame China.
Got it.
Our media needs to have an international push to say, "Hey, China."
First, we need to actually get off our asses, and we need to march on the border.
We can do both. We can do both. We have enough bandwidth as a country to be mad at more than one thing. Trust me, we can be mad at more than one thing at once. I've seen it. I've seen it.
That's true, but if you can't get Americans off their asses to actually protest in their own country, how the fuck are you going to get Americans off their ass to protest for Hong Kong? Because, by the way, it all needs to be handled.
It starts with stuff like this, Titus. It starts with talking about it on this podcast and getting people aware.
I agree with you, but we need to get off our ass and march in the streets of our own country right now because we got this bloviating dumbass.
People are. It is happening. There are protests happening.
There was a protest the other day. It was like it was Bernie or somebody. And it was like 100, 200 people. I'm like, what are we doing? And by
that's where it starts, though. You can't say that stuff.
I'm just saying. Right. I'm just saying that we have never been here before. Like even during Nixon, in my lifetime, we've never been here.
Listen, I'm not okay.
Let me finish. Is that people aren't up every day,
right?
And because I see England, fucking Boris Johnson came in one day. The streets of London were packed with people, packed. And we have had this dickhead for 3 years, and we can't get off our asses. And
by the way, did a bit about this in Neverlution, which you can watch now for free on YouTube at Christopher Titus TV.
Hey-o.
By the way, guys, go to Christopher Titus TV. You can see all the videos. The Armageddon update will be up.
You talk about that specifically.
Yeah.
Get off your acetone.
Neverlution. Everybody wants a revolution, but no one wants to pack a lunch.
You said that. Brilliant.
We all have to get up and do it. And I would go, but I don't. I mean, what's the schedule,
Sure. Well, and you can find it, though. Like, you can,
the thing is that we're all waiting for the schedule. No one's willing to go. We're fucking going
I went to a rally earlier this year for Bernie. And
a Bernie at rally. You're still Bernie guy?
I am Bernie. Good. Yeah, because I'm not going to, do my whole shtick, but out of all of the...
It's Bernie shtick?
Out of all the politicians running, Bernie's had the most consistent message.
Did you see forever? Did you see Bill Maher said that he brushes his hair with a balloon?
That's funny. That's fucking
it's
funny.
It's a joke where we were like, duh, it was so good.
Bill Maher didn't write that, though.
Probably his writers.
Yeah.
Although he's a good writer, too.
I love Bernie, but my point is that the media is focusing, I think, on the wrong things, whereas we could very much be focusing on Hong Kong.
You know what they're focusing? In our own election, they're focusing on the Biden zero proof, zero background, zero investigation conspiracy. Right. They're focusing on Bernie's heart attack.
Well, and to circle all this around with why I have issues with Rachel Maddow, and it's not her specifically, but I do have some issues with CNN and MSNBC because they are corporate news, right? You follow the chain up, and Jeff Bezos owns, I think, not CNN, but he owns some news outlet, right? Amazon does, and he
owns the Washington Post.
That's what it is. That's what it is. And WAPO doesn't talk about Bernie. And if you look at how they pull, if you just look at the graphics, right, the infographics on MSNBC and CNN, Bernie's right up there, but they only ever include Warren, Biden, and Kamala.
So
right?
John Cusack on Twitter, this is his whole stance. He rallies with Bernie, and he tweets every day about the fact that Bernie does not get coverage.
Because the
Well, you know what'll happen. Here's why. It all comes down to money once again, because Bernie's going to change.
That's the reason.
He's going to change it, and all of a sudden, everybody's going to be minimum wage is going to be $20 an hour.
Yeah.
You're going to have
raise taxes.
Unions. Yeah. So here's what we need. Europe has, or England has, the BBC, right?
Sure.
It's government-owned news. It's the news. I didn't realize how much bullshit we were fed on a daily basis.
Sure.
I filmed a pilot in Australia years ago, and it was during the Iraq War at the beginning, and the news we were getting here was, just so you know, people, is nothing what the rest of the world gets.
Yeah.
They have reporters that their job is to get news.
Yeah.
They don't have to spin it. They don't have to pull something because of an advertiser. That's what we have to do in this country.
My mom was shocked when she went to the Middle East at the news.
Yeah, because it's true. Because
it's not what we're hearing.
And you'll see, and the reason wars get stopped over there because they show bodies coming in. We stopped. Nope, sorry, can't show bodies. That happened during Vietnam.
Yeah, totally did.
And so he's right in the sense that, and that's the thing, is I start hearing. It's also when you start to see that the polls start to show Biden's 20 points ahead of Trump. I notice that the news starts to talk shit about Biden.
Yeah, it's weird.
All a game. Have you noticed?
Yeah, it's all that. It's that horse race journalism, right? Like, they're not actually backing anyone specifically, but they're backing people through omission, right? You don't talk how Bernie actually has the best shot, like popularity-wise, he polls higher than Trump than any other candidate in all states. Like, and again, not to make this about Bernie, I like a lot of the Democratic candidates that are running.
Warren?
I like Warren, and I don't care for Kamala. I like Booker quite a bit. Like,
I like
Tulsi Gabbard
Kamala.
I don't like Kamala.
Why?
I think Kamala's bought. I think that she just
Tulsi needs to switch.
I think she is.
By whom?
She's super flip-floppy. Like, she is just going to she's a corporate Democrat that will bend to the will of the DNC.
Do you know what I want Kamala for really badly? Because I really like her. I would love to see Donald Trump have to debate her.
Sure,
really is why I'm in it.
No, she's
But
a
do you know what
badass,
she
but,
would be amazing at? Attorney General.
Sure, absolutely, right?
Badass.
I just don't. I would vote for Kamala, right? But I don't like her out of the field,
right.
You know. And I think just there are news outlets in America you can go to in order to get a wide range, a more unbiased thing. Unbiased,
you have to search for it,
but you have to look for it, right? Well, and ideally, you go to multiple news sources and see what crosses over. Like, I listen to the Young Turks, I listen to MSNBC, I'll do NPR, and I even
go to Fox to see what they're saying.
You can actually see what they're doing.
I always tell them, click to Fox, let's see what they're saying.
Your
Halloween is coming on all the other channels. The country is burning down. He just committed another federal offense.
In candy this year.
Yeah, what? That is like
I'll just end on saying that it's your job. God. It's your. I know. Thank God. Right. I'm talking.
I find it riveting.
It's your role as an American citizen to be as educated as possible and include yourself in the voting process.
He's such a big boy now.
Like, people say, like, why should I vote? Like, it doesn't matter. No. Voting's the minimum thing you can do to have a role in the democracy, where the maximum thing you can do is protest. You want to vote? Get off your fucking ass and protest.
He was always like this, but he wasn't this confident about speaking about it publicly.
We got him as a boy.
You did it. Good work.
We did.
We actually got him out.
It was slowly melting.
He was in a basket
You
of
brought
reeds.
back every high school rejection.
High five me.
Remember, you were washing your hair in the Euphrates, and he floated by, and we grabbed him.
Oh.
And we raised him for a couple of years, and we sent him to Disney.
You did. Well done.
We prepared him for Los Angeles.
Sure did, though.
Guys, by the way, this weekend I'm going to be at the San Jose
tonight through Sunday.
Tonight through Sunday. 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday, 1 show Sunday. Please come to the show. I finally got off book. I am no longer looking at notes.
Also coming up, Schaumburg in November. November. Let's throw this out there. November 3rd, we are both going to be on a canine cancer show.
Ooh.
Canine cancer charity show at Flappers.
Yeah. Nice.
We are
here?
Against it, not for it. Yes, here
cool.
at Flappers on Sunday the 3rd, November the 3rd. You should.
Maybe I'll bring a lady. Who
And there's several comics on it.
Who knows?
And then Schaumburg Improv's coming up, and then Dayton, Toledo, Liberty Township, Columbus, Ohio. This is all one weekend, by the way. And Lexington, Kentucky. That is one long run without coming home.
I was going to finish doing the thing, and I was going to...
I just wanted you to have your dates.
I know, but I got it.
Okay, go hit it.
So,
and
then if you
take 2.
And if if you want to see any of my specials, go to ChristopherTitus.com. You can see them. Also, the free specials, 2 free specials on Christopher Titus TV.
On YouTube.
If you go and you watch those 2 free specials on YouTube, you have to subscribe to the channel. Every week we're giving you new stuff about the news. And by the way, it's not always going to be about the news, but for God's sakes, if this guy would stop talking, I would stop talking about what he's talking about.
Just educate yourself. I don't give a shit if you're conservative. I don't give a shit. Like, I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat. Do your due diligence. Read different news sources. Try to educate yourself.
Or die in a nuclear fire.
Subscribe to his YouTube channel because we could post a video of the 3 of us in the Star Wars disco ball onesies dancing to Casey and the Sunshine Band.
I would absolutely do that.
I would too.
100%.
Would you?
Oh, yeah. No
You
question.
heard it here, people.
By
He
the way,
just agreed.
By the way,
did.
You could actually play the song from the Mos Eisley Cantina to Casey and the Sunshine Band.
Sure could. We do a mashup? We do a mashup?
I just got how close it is.
2 minutes. We have a couple minutes. Love life. Anything you want to share? Have there been ups and downs?
So can I do a quick shout out before I forget? Before I do Love Life?
Is this to a girl?
Yes, but not related to my Love Life at all. It's Douche Correspondent's birthday today.
It's Ashley Cashman's birthday.
It's her birthday. Ash Cashman's birthday. Happy birthday. So I just figured
We love
that's
Ashley.
important to mention.
Is that connected to your love life?
No, not at all. But
one of the best people we know, Ashley Cashman.
She's the bomb.
Happy birthday.
She is the bomb.
Bomb.com.
She really is.
Anyway, Farmer Love Life. It is nothing serious in my love life, but there is.
He's got a buddy.
I got a bud.
Okay.
You know,
a buddy who's like, I don't want to hang out with you either, but I'll see you at the house at 11:30. He's got one of those.
Tap twice on a drain pipe.
Actually, it's been a really.
Only show up when it's dark.
On the ceiling if you want.
It's been a really interesting year in my love life. I went on a date with a singer, and I didn't know, like, I thought, she sings, very talented, like classically trained opera singer and anything. And I thought the date went pretty well, right? And obviously, since I have been with you guys, I have gotten good advice about dating from Rachel, and I've gotten advice about dating from Titus.
Which advice works best?
Which advice works
He
best?
only called one good advice, and that was mine.
So, anyway.
I'm sorry. He told me the story, and what he did was exactly what I told him to do.
And so
Yes.
I go on the date, and I, instead of doing that thing where you just, like, you don't talk and you let her talk the whole time, take initiative and you talk about yourself, and then you ask questions, let her talk and whatever. So
yeah, we call that conversation.
Interesting.
By the way, I give conversation a 7.3.
Yeah.
7.3 conversation.
Yeah.
Apparently, my conversation is like a 3.1 because she messages me on Hinge and she's like, "Hey, I didn't want to ghost you." So first off,
That's nice.
2 thumbs up for that because
Yeah.
I'm glad you didn't ghost me. Thank you. And she was like, "I just wanted to give you some constructive feedback on the date." And
She didn't ghost you so that
she could give me feedback. Yeah. So here's
It's a female dentist.
here's your report card.
The date didn't go the way I thought it should go, so I don't want to ghost you. So I've done a 9-page printout of exactly what you did wrong.
So she said, "Listen, you seem really nice," which means I fucking hated you.
Yep.
But that's fine. And I just think that
It means not sexy.
clearly not
Clearly
sexy
not,
like at all.
yeah.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's cool.
Totally fine.
I literally don't give a shit.
Okay.
So she said that I just felt like you talked a lot about yourself in our conversation, and I learned a lot of interesting things. But I want a more a more dynamic conversation, like a better conversational dynamic with my partner, and I didn't feel like I got to talk to myself about myself enough. And in my head,
Actress singer.
And I didn't know she was an actress. I thought she was just a singer. On the date, I found out she was an actress. And in my head, I was like, "Oh, really? Is that what happened? Silly me for trying to have like an equal split in conversation."
No.
Because
it needs to be 95.
it should have been 95.5.
95.3 and 2 about puppies.
I learned 2 about puppets with
That's
you.
how I married Rachel.
I said puppies. I like that you heard puppets. There's the difference between us.
I thought you were making a Potter Puppet Pal joke. That's what I thought you were doing.
No, I think I've advised you never talk about your puppets. Okay, good.
Actually, your Potter Puppet Pals are in my trunk, which I actually opened my trunk on a date one time, but as she was walking up, I saw that, I was like, "Ah!" And I like threw a coat over it. I was like, "My shit." That was
Like
almost
it's a dead body.
Yeah, like, oh,
Like you killed
that's
someone.
almost the most
Our
embarrassing
friend
thing of all
Chris in North Carolina made Potter Puppet Pals of me and of him for him.
And I keep almost wanting to do like a video with them and like post it on your Twitter, but then I keep not doing it because it would be like, why the fuck does Ryan have these puppets? That's really weird.
Really funny.
It's awesome.
We should get him back. We should actually film a little bit here.
Oh, that would be so
Punch and
funny.
Judy?
And then cut the podcast.
With the puppets. That would actually be honestly hilarious.
Chris, we need one of Ryan.
I have one of me.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Oh, we got it. We can do it.
That was what
That was the
your
whole
first one
reason.
was?
I had a friend who made me a Potter Puppet Pal. That was the joke. That's
We'll
where
have
this all
him on in
comes from.
December, and let's do that.
So your Casper mattress has gotten some use.
Oh no,
but-
never in my apartment. Always hers.
Oh.
See that? No, he's getting more OCD.
Baller.
I don't want her to know where I live. Come on, dog.
Wow. Yeah.
No.
That's
He's
my
turned
advice.
into a slut.
No.
No, your advice
Turn
was
into
what
it.
he did
No,
on that date.
I don't do any one night stands. I had an opportunity for a one night stand in Minnesota recently, and I was good. Like not one night stands. Either a consistent agreement
Okay.
between two adults,
Okay.
or dating. But I'm not just going off and fucking.
On that note,
I think he's a man now.
we set you free and you came back to us.
By the way, can I tell you this? So actresses, and
Don't date actresses. They're the worst.
So we would do when we were doing Titus, we'd hire people that
Sure.
play, and great talented people like in camera rolling.
Yeah.
There's a drama in actors, general females and males that is. I've been doing it long enough. And
Yeah.
Once you learn the production side, you're like, oh, I shouldn't act like an asshole.
Yeah.
This is hard.
Care very much about themselves.
So,
Yes.
Yes.
Because you have to for that profession.
So we come up after rehearsal, and I go in the writer's room, and I just be like, "Fuck, she's impossible to deal with." And then Jack would grab a Sharpie, the biggest Sharpie he had, and he'd write it in letters. It's like, because we had giant whiteboards. All actresses are fucking insane. And it would.
It's crazy. Like I I have a very strict I will not date an actress rule.
Yeah.
And even like if I match with them on Hinge or something and I see that they're an actress, it's like a hard
Yeah.
you're cute, but I'm in a different place in my life. I don't need this
Very
right now.
needy.
And I thought she was just a singer. I was like, I can get around this. And then she's like, I also do a lot of acting. I was like,
Needy, too self-aware, always like looking at themselves.
I
and
just felt
doing
like
their
you
hair
didn't give me a chance to talk about myself enough. Like, thank you for your constructive feedback, you bitch.
I didn't get enough.
He's good. I think we're good here.
Get enough time to talk about me.
I think we're done here.
No, I'm glad, guys. This is the Ryan
little butterfly.
Fetus Farmer update, and he's a butterfly now.
He came back to us.
Sure
though.
did.
Yeah.
Once a year, I'll just like migrate back around, right? Make sure I'm
We'll
still
set
good.
you free into the world
Guys,
again.
again, San Jose Improv this weekend. Please go to ChristopherTitus.com. Subscribe, Christopher Titus TV. Bombshell Ray, you guys want to come to film her special on February 1st? We are doing it
Well, I'll
here
be there.
in Los Angeles. Ryan's going to be part of the crew, I think.
I don't know.
You should be. You should be.
Yeah,
Because you know you love a walkie.
I do love
Yes,
a walkie.
you do.
I do love
Yes,
a walkie.
you do.
Yes, I do.
Headset and
Give
a
me that walkie.
Yeah, what do you do?
I.
He's standing next to me like, hold on.
He
hold on.
still I know he still denies this, but I did catch him adjusting his walkie and his shirt in the bathroom and
No, because the
Tempe
clip doesn't clip
and
right.
flexing at the same time.
That's not
so-
what I was doing. You know, okay, yeah, I was doing. I
And
was
then he was
flexing.
going, I'm in show business.
And then he pounded 12 151 and
that was-
cokes.
Yeah.
And
Speaking of vanity, if
and
we're
then
gonna
he
talk
quit.
About, we're talking about me flexing. I'm surprised you haven't mentioned how much weight I've lost. I've lost 15 pounds.
15 pounds.
Titus mentioned it.
Yeah.
You didn't.
He already told me, so it wasn't a surprise.
Oh,
he
okay.
ruined it.
Ruined it.
He told me you did it running, so I
did,
already know
just
how you
running.
did it.
Just
And
running.
I did research on it after. Do you know running is better for you than swimming? Do you know why?
Don't know.
Okay, so they were actually they studied hearts of runners and all these people that work out. Runners' hearts, for some reason, the left ventricle, the one that pumps the blood out, was bigger in everybody.
Oh,
the
interesting.
runners, because the swimmers swim. You know, they only have to pump the blood horizontally,
Horizontally.
not
I see.
vertically.
I
So
see.
because you're running
horizontally. I get it.
Horizontally.
Running's the
Glad-
most efficient way to lose weight if you're looking
made
to
up a
drop
new
that
word.
fat.
Outside or
I give
inside?
horizontal.
I run outside. I don't do any treadmill
I
stuff.
love outside.
I've tripped
too.
several times though. It's great.
Of course you have. Are you still
Ah!
listening to Harry Potter when you run?
No. I have a very
He grew up.
specific playlist that I need.
But isn't it
did
interesting
grow
that, like,
up.
because I always thought swimming was better for you, but it's not.
Well, no. Well, different. Like swimming's amazing for you because of more than just the swimming gives you a full muscle. Like all of your muscles are getting worked more so.
Not scientifically.
How far and how often?
Aerobically,
Anaerobic.
Anaerobic.
They said running.
I don't
Not
know.
aerobic.
I don't know words.
Listen,
You're
right,
both idiots.
I'm sure the entire scientific community that studied this.
You know what,
wrong,
Titus?
and You're right.
You're right.
Shut
You're
the
right. I don't know what I'm talking about. You know, you just don't let me talk about me enough.
That was awesome. We didn't talk about him enough.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching.
By the way, ladies, he's lost 15 pounds and he's on Hinge if you're in the Los Angeles
Hey,
area.
you're in LA? You looking for a guy?
On Hinge.
On Hinge.
By the
baby.
way, if you're looking for a guy, I'm sure he doesn't go.
That's me.
Raise LaRue.
Raise LaRue.
Hey, come on, everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
Limp-wristed
If you're looking for a guy, he's never going to be fully
It's all right.
finished.
It's great.
But here's the
It's
thing.
so good.
The one that
I can't believe you didn't even see through the sarcasm.
the one that likes him is gonna be that's gonna be like that's
She's
that's
going to
my
love
guy.
that about
You
him.
you guys know you're gonna Titus. You're gonna walk in tomorrow into the house, and be like,
Oh,
"What's
we're
up, Titus?
doing this
You're
for the
doing it
next
now.
3
What's
weeks."
up? You're doing it for the
Yeah,
next 3
for
weeks.
sure.
Here's the thing: you gotta be free. This dude, you gotta remember, this is a
own
dude
it.
that had the balls in front of a packed
Insane.
house on a filming night
400 people.
to do 6 or 8
Insane.
minutes of
He
commentary
did longer.
and killed
I did
it.
like 10 or
Yeah.
something.
Killed
He
it.
only had to do 5.
Ballsy, or he just has no shame. Either way, it's the same.
Well, my favorite part of
It
that
was
story
amazing.
that I know you're just trying to get out of here. My favorite part of that story is right before I go on, Titus comes up to me and he goes, "Yo, you don't have to do this. This is fine. Like, you don't actually have to do this." He tried to back out of the bet. No, you're good. And I was like, "No, I got this." And he's like, "Okay, if something goes wrong, just I'm in the audience. Just keep going. It'll be okay." And I was like, "No,
He's
no,
like
we're
a
good."
dad. He actually got worried.
He got super
worried.
worried because he didn't think I'd actually do it.
Yeah, we
know-
were shocked.
I know how hard it is, and
Yeah.
so we were talking about it yesterday. He's editing, and he goes, I sat and watched all your videos for 3 years.
3 years, and not only did I watch them, he told me all the things. He told me the secrets. I
Yeah.
had cheat codes.
Yeah.
I wasn't just some schlep going into flappers for the first time.
I had cheat codes. By the way, to get to Christopher Titus, cheat codes.
Left,
comedy.
left, right, up, down, up, down.
AB, Konami
AB.
code.
Guys,
Ah, nice.
Thanks for listening and watching the Titus Podcast. Again, go see us on the road. If you need to see if we're going to be in your town, go to ChristopherTitus.com. It's all there. Or follow us on social media at Titus Nation on Twitter.
At Ray Bradley, Twitter and Instagram.
At the Ryan Farmer.
The
on Twitter.
Ryan Farmer on the Twitter. I posted a video of him after 151
Sure did.
on Twitter. He's tagged in it, so go look that
I
up.
can't believe I drank that much. That's incredible.
I asked you on the video how many you had, and what do you say? I think 6
I think
you
6,
got
8,
or 12.
I don't know.
When you got off stage, you were shaking. You were.
I'm not used to that much.
He couldn't come down. He kept pounding one, and so I kept telling the waiter, "Make it a double," because
Yeah.
I just want to see him
The
hurt.
next
He was
morning was
fine.
awesome.
He was fine.
I literally was fine.
Hated him for that, but he's in his 20s. It'll go away.
It sure
you'll,
will.
You'll look
Better
back
believe
on
it.
that
Don't drink a lot of Bacardi 151 after you've performed.
forever.
That's true.
I disagree with that advice.
All right, guys. For myself, Bombshell Ray, and Fetus. Later.
Peace out.
Yeah!
Yeah! Yo!
Yo!
Oh.